Okay. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? So basically, I'm going to be talking about Mordhau and the game in general, and what do I think about it so far? I think it's a great concept. I do have a lot of issues with the game, though, and I will speak very briefly on that. But let's speak about the positives first. We haven't had a game that was like a big team battle in a long time. With it being an indie game, an indie release, they sold a lot of, I think, over 1 million copies or something. And the game is, I think, at $29.99, which I don't think it should be that high for a game for being indie and for this content, because there really isn't a lot. But I want to speak on positives first. I think the game is very nice visually, and I think the concept is amazing. I definitely think there's more to be built on. I just picked up the game probably about 2 days ago, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. There's definitely a lot of customization. I like how they're pulling that you have a weight capacity, that you can put different armor sets and play with whatever weapon you want to play with, whether it be a longsword, an axe, a bow, or halberd. So definitely if you're a medieval lover, you might like this game. The one thing I will point out though is it is very derivative if you like For Honor, and it's not exactly like For Honor. If anything, it's more like a step down from For Honor, and they try to pull from a lot of the mechanics from that game. However, I will explain, does it work or does it not work in this game. I will say this, the loading is pretty good, the servers are pretty good. I don't really see any lag. I think the weapons and variety and the gameplay, the voice acting, everything is amazing on the game when it comes to a visual experience of giving you that medieval feel. More so talking about on the bads now, because there's a lot of kind of complaints that I've seen, and the biggest one I will say is that not everyone or every weapon feels like even. So you might have a longsword that swings slow but does a lot of damage compared to a dagger or something smaller that should be faster. Sometimes the combat could be a little wanky. They try to pull from For Honor with directional attack, so if you're holding down the mouse button or you're aiming downward and you swing up, it's supposed to be chaining into a combo from that directional kind of input. However, this isn't the case, because even if you're fighting in a game, if you do directional input, everything can be blocked. And then when you block something, you're supposed to be able to do another follow-up attack on the person that attacked you. However, that really isn't the case here, because when somebody blocks something from you, let me stop the video real quick, there we go. When somebody blocks something, they can still have a chance to block your next attack. So there really isn't great combos you can do, because it's just more so like who hits first and like poking. And that's what makes the game a little aggravating, because it just seems like it's a bunch of poking in the game and see who gets that first kill. So in this game, it more so comes around the line of, can you get behind somebody who's already fighting somebody and kill them and help out your teammate? As you can see right there, it just like headbanged this guy. He was blocking the other way. So that's more so how I get most of my kills, because there is no honor in this game at all. They try to make it very mechanic driven, that you can kick in the game and you can parry things, but the parrying system is very wank in this game. So like it's all about range and playing your distance, so like it's just not so great on the mechanics. I know me and my friend were really trying to give this game a try, but it just seems like it's all based on luck. I can't say there's really any skill factor in this game, because if somebody blocks something, it just nothing really works how the tutorial shows you it's supposed to be. There's two different types of blocks and parries you can do. There's a block which you can follow up with an attack afterwards, but it's useless because people can block it. You could feint in the game, so you fake out your attack and switch to another direction, which is totally stolen from For Honor. However, it works terrible in this game. And then you can also repost, and then you could also do an attack and then it'll clash with another person, and then you can follow up with another attack. However, it doesn't work as well because people can block. So everything that they're trying to do with giving you an option or a way to do a follow-up attack doesn't really work unless that person isn't blocking. I mean, even the kick is very predictable to see and easily punishable. So I definitely think the fighting mechanics that they were trying to go for in this game don't really work for this game, and I think they need to look at it, because a lot of people get frustrated because you may be a better player, but just because you have more skill doesn't mean you're going to get that kill. For the most part, you guys can keep blocking each other until somebody runs out of stamina. Now, you do have a stamina bar in this game, however, it's not really like you'll never see yourself running out of too much stamina. Another thing that I like to talk about is that a lot of people just kind of run around this game and just hack and slash, and they could be doing a bunch of different attacks, and it might get you. It's a very good chance they might get you in this game, and they don't. It doesn't require any skill whatsoever. I will say the game mode I do play a lot is Frontline, just because I like that big team battle. And I will say this, for having three armor classes, as in types of armor, you have rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. If you're running all three, you're the slowest person in the game. If you're doing a hybrid, you have 2 high ranking armors and then 1 low ranking, so you're a little bit faster, or you could have no armor at the risk of holding bigger weapons, but you would just need to require more skill. However, even if you have the highest armor in the game and somebody has a high damage weapon, it still takes only about 2 hits, or wherever you don't have armor, it could be a one shot and instantly kill you. So there's a lot of problems that I see within the fighting mechanics that I know I get frustrated. I would really love to play this game, but I definitely think they need to work through it a little bit more. Like I said, the strengths in this game is that, yeah, we have a big team battle, which is almost like a Call of Duty, like Capture the Flag and Battlefront, which we don't really see anymore, which gives us that online experience. However, just the mechanics of fighting isn't really there, especially when they were trying to pull from For Honor a bit, whereas it's a 4v4, and For Honor knew that if they added more people, it would just be a ganking or a session, which this game is. It's very hard to find yourself with a 1v1, and even if you do, like me in this instance, it's only the matter of time before 2 other guys show up and like gank you. At that point, you can't block like everybody's ability. Even if you block 2 people, there will be a third person who will be waiting for you after that block is done, and then they could hit you. So you can't just block, 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 or hold block. Whereas in For Honor, you could hold your block. If you hold it enough, your stamina gets drained. So I definitely think they need to put a cap on that, just because that would help for the 1v1s in this game. Um, the games are pretty long, so I will say there's that. However, the only other problem that I see is that there are certain maps where a team has a certain advantage. So there's a map in this game where it's like a fortress in the middle, and then there's a bunch of horses farther out in the back. But the thing is, if you're on the red team, you have a better chance because you're closer to the control point you're supposed to get, versus the blue team who has to climb a wall or go around the fortress. So there's certain maps that lean towards certain teams. So I think the map design is a little off and pretty bad itself too. A lot of people rage in this game and talk about how bad it is, but people still play it because it's fun. It's a different type of experience. So I think they truly have something here. They just really need to work on the combat. Otherwise, it's just going to be a game that you're playing for the pure sense that it's insanity. So those are just some of my thoughts on that as well. I will say this, the weapons are fun to use. However, I just feel like the combat system needs to be turned a different way, because it doesn't feel as rewarding when you do kill something, because it's not even skill or luck. Like sometimes you could just run up to one person and they could just one-shot you. Or if you're battling a person for, like, let's say 2 minutes blocking each other, it just seems like it's at a stalemate unless somebody just stops blocking. So regarding attack speeds and certain weapons doing certain damage, I just feel like certain weapons should be going a little faster, like the rapier, which I know they just nerfed because it used to be really fast. However, that weapon is supposed to be fast because it's like a fencing type weapon. I would like to see some hyper armor in this game for people that are using bigger swords and bigger weapons. Whether it gives them a little bit more defense on a certain attack, because even if you're swinging something from super far away, there's different type of mechanics you could use. There's like a drag method where you turn and look one way and then you drag your weapon across the screen, and it does work, but it's not always a viable option. At this point, I think the game being so fresh and new, I think about a month in, they need a lot of work to get the game good. However, I will say this is not a very skilled game, and a lot of people saying that it is, and you build your builds and stuff. However, I just feel like the directional attacks have no purpose in this game, and the skill method is very low. Some people like to say the skill cap is very high. I don't agree, because even me playing and I'm learning all these different tactics, it's not like I'm doing anything wrong. It's just more so like if I'm blocking and then there's another team and I'm getting ganked. Those are just the situations, and it happens in For Honor, and I use For Honor as a reference because they did use For Honor as a platform to kind of make this game, just on a bigger scale, but not so kind of similar, I guess you can say. So even me being in this 1v1 right now, I'm using a little bit of drag method, and I'm trying to block attacks, but then my teammate comes behind him and kills him. One shot, basically. So you can see that could get very frustrating, and it's not one of those games where you're going to get a high KD and be okay. Like, everybody's going to be dying 100 times in this game. Is it worth $29.99? No. Do I think the game is bad? I don't think it's bad, but nor do I think it's great. I don't think it's living up to the hype that everybody says. It is fun to play with people. This is just me. I don't play the Battle Royale version or the Horde version. I like the big team battles. However, I think it just needs to be fixed up and polished, and certain weapons need to be nerfed or buffed, and they really need to take into account their community, because right now the game just seems like a big troll type game. But that's where I'm going to leave it off today, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little video. My name is SpookieSTL, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully by then Mordhau will be a better completed game. Alright, and I hope you guys enjoy.